It was a very mixed bag for the San Jose State Spartans last year, but all in all, a very solid team out of the Mountain West Conference in 2022. Entering 2023, well, you do get some really nice key pieces back, including your starting quarterback. However, there is a lot of overhaul on the defense, the wide receiver room, and yet, despite all of it, a lot of the media thinks that this is a team that could potentially break out in the Mountain West Conference here in 2023. Can the San Jose State Spartans win another Mountain West Conference championship, or is this team, with all they lost, not going to be as good as they were a season ago? What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome to my channel. I am previewing and predicting all 133 FBS level college football teams this summer. It means I'm doing your favorite team, so hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you know when that video gets uploaded. But there are more ways than that. You can always support my channel. Hey, you're doing one right now by watching the video, and you can do more by liking, commenting, sharing, and anything else you guys are willing and able to do to help me support my channel. So without further ado, let's talk about San Jose State here in 2023, again, as we continue with Mountain West Conference predictions. As we take a look at the quarterback position, well, one name is really, really important here, and that is the first name listed. Former Hawaii Rainbow Warrior, came over to the Spartans last year. That's Chevan Cordeiro. Apologies if I said that last name wrong. I've always thought I've said that last name wrong, and I very well may be. But he had 3,250 yards, 23 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions on almost 61% completion percentage last year. He's one of, if not the best quarterback in the Mountain West Conference, although I'd have to give that to Taylon Green. I think Cordeiro is one of the best quarterbacks this conference has to offer. I think he's a very, very good player. He was last year and will continue to be this year for the Spartans in 2023. He also had 9 rushing touchdowns for the team last season. Your backup in Walker Iget comes back, but you also do get a transfer coming over in Jay Butterfield, who definitely could end up being the backup this year, as he's a Power 5 transfer, former 4-star out of high school, coming over from Oregon. Let's talk about this running back room, though. Again, Chevan Cordeiro, lock him in. He will be that starting quarterback for San Jose State this year, and if he performs like he did last year, this could be a very good offense. However, there are some pieces leaving that we will talk about later, but first, in the running back room, Kenyon Sims, who was the 3rd leading rusher last year, only had 10 carries for 52 yards, is gone from last season. Again, not a team that really relied on the run a whole lot last year. Only 343 carries for the team. Granted, they didn't do that well, only averaging 3.4 yards per carry, but your leading rusher does come back. That's Kerry Robinson, had 752 yards, almost rushed for 5 yards a carry and 10 scores. You also are getting a transfer coming in, and that is Quayle Conley. He is coming over from Utah Tech, formerly known as Dixie State, and should be a good addition to this running back room for San Jose State. When you take a look at the wide receiver room, though, this is where the big losses start to come in, and this is where you're going to need some guys to really step it up. Your leading receiver, a 1,000-yard receiver from last year, and Elijah Cooks, is gone, and that's a big blow to this team. He had 1,076 yards and 10 touchdowns on 69 catches last year, so that's a huge loss for this team, but you also lose some other guys as well. Isaiah Hamilton, a really good deep ball threat, averaged 20.7 yards per reception, 228 yards and 2 touchdowns for him last season. And then Jermaine Braddock is also gone, was the team's 3rd leading receiver, 295 yards, sadly no scores for him last season. However, despite all those losses, your 2nd leading receiver, and should be the number 1 leading receiver for San Jose State this season, is Justin Lockhart on 36 catches, which was 2nd on the team. Also was 2nd on the team with 578 yards. A lone touchdown for him last year. You have to think that increases this year, and you return some other guys to this wide receiver room as well. Again, some of this depth is really going to have to step up, right? Charles Rosh, Nick Nash, among others, are going to be coming back to this team. It will be led by Justin Lockhart, with some of the other depth maybe needing to step into some bigger roles this year. In the tight end room, you return pretty much everybody that caught a pass in the tight end room for San Jose State this year. Dominic Mazzotti, Sam Olson, Skylar Loving-Black, and Jackson Cannon, all of them come back to this tight end room, so a very deep, experienced tight end room for the Spartans this year. And on the offensive line, you do lose Bryce Peterson, but Anthony Pardue, Jamie Navarro, and Marist Talavu is going to be coming back to this offensive line. So, again, offensively, yeah, a lot of key pieces in the wide receiver room are gone, but Chevan Cordeiro does come back. This should, and again, you still got some very nice pieces. I think it's going to be a really good offense for the Spartans here in 2023. Now, taking a look at the defense, you'll lose a lot of key pieces on this defense as well, including a ton on the defensive line, and your leader in Viliami Fehoko, 69 tackles, 9 sacks last year. That did lead the team. Cade Hall was another really important figure, was second on the team with 7.5 sacks, 36 tackles. Also made him good for a top 10 tackler. You're going to be losing him, as well as Lando Gray, Marcel Sanders, and Noah Wright, but especially those first two, and Fehoko and Cade Hall. Both of those guys were instrumental to this pass rush, a team that actually generated a lot of sacks last year, almost 40 of them, and you lose your two leaders from that sack producing room. Those are some big losses for the Spartans on defense. But who do you return? Sion Tawaya, Noah Lavulu, and Jay Kakiva will be coming back to this defensive line, among some other names. Again, apologies for the mispronunciations that I say for any one of these players' names here, but you do get those guys coming back among some others. I definitely think the defensive line is going to take a step back just because of all the production you lose, but you still got some really solid players on that defensive front. Now, in the linebacking room, you do lose a lot more here as well, as Kyle Harmon was your leading tackler last year, broke triple digits, had 102 tackles, 4 sacks, 5 pass defended. Really good player. You also are going to lose Ali Matau, and Rico Tolfree is also going to be gone out of there as well. Matau, 50 tackles, 5.5 sacks last season. Again, really good player for the San Jose State team. That was, so actually looking at this list now, you lose your 4 top sack leaders from last season. So going to be really hard to make that up, but coming back in the linebacker room is Brian Parham, who was your second leading tackler, had 3 sacks. Jordan Pollard, Elijah Wood, and Jordan Cobbs, all of them are coming back. Now in the defensive back room, not a ton of losses here, but you still do lose some big names. Andrew Jenkins is going to be gone, had 15 tackles last season, but Nehemiah Shelton is the big one leaving here. 8 pass defended, which led the team, 2 interceptions, 49 tackles. You're going to be missing him. However, Trey Jenkins, Chase Williams, Kenyon Reed, and Michael Dansby come back, so still got a pretty good secondary, and you do get a boost there as well. A former 4-star coming out of high school. Another Power 5 transfer is DJ Harvey. Should play some solid minutes for the Spartans this year. Your head coach, who I love, is Brent Brennan. Your offensive coordinator is Kevin McGivern, and your defensive coordinator, Derek Odom, as now we take a look at the Spartans football schedule for 2023. Any game at home will be underlined, while any game on the road will be in italics or the slanted text. Any game that you see in green is a game that I think the Spartans are going to win handedly, easily. Any game in yellow is a back and forth 50-50 type game. Maybe it's an upset bid, but I still have the Spartans being able to win, and red, of course, is a loss. Now, you start the year off with a college football playoff favorite, one of, if not the best team in the Pac-12, and you also have the reigning Heisman winner on that team in Caleb Williams. It is the USC Trojans. They got a very high-flying offense, and with all San Jose State lost defensively, they're just not going to keep up. Even if they got everyone back, I still don't think they'd be able to keep up with the Trojan offensive attack that we're going to see this year. Now, this San Jose State offense, okay, they might be able to score some points and do some damage against the USC defense that, while they added a lot of depth, definitely still has some stuff to prove. However, USC by far the superior team, especially offensively. They will beat San Jose State to open the year. And I also believe that this is a Sunday game, but you will be losing in week 1 to the Oregon State Beavers. By the way, they play that game in week 0, one of the few teams to do so. I do believe that you will be losing to the Oregon State Beavers. Oregon State's a team that brings in DJ Uyunglele at quarterback. Damian Martinez in the running back room is a beast. A lot of key pieces on defense coming back. And that's also going to be a really fun, really good team to watch here in 2023. Don't think San Jose State will be so lucky in that one either. However, I do think you get your first win of the year against Cal Poly. That is an FCS level team that I think San Jose State will easily be able to beat. Too much on offense, and even the pieces again on defense. They did lose a lot, but you got some good experience coming back in the secondary, and again, just too much firepower offensively. But then you get another really tough non-conference game. It is on the road against the reigning Mid-American Conference champions, and that is the Toledo Rockets. This is going to be another very good team this year. Yeah, they did lose some pieces, but there is quite a bit coming back from a team that won the Mid-American Conference last year. Should be one of the best teams the Mid-American Conference has to offer again in 2023. And I see San Jose State dropping this one. I think Toledo, with some of the pieces coming back on offense, are going to be a little bit too much for the Spartan defense to handle. And while I think San Jose State's offense can do more than enough to keep up with the Rockets here. I also think the Rockets have some really good defensive pieces that are going to slow down Siobhan Cordero and that Spartan offense. So I think you do end up dropping that game to Toledo there in week 3. So then you get into conference play. Non-conference play maybe didn't go the way you want to. Kind of a shaky start here at 1-3, but I think you get a much-needed win. It's a Friday game against the Air Force Falcons. And Air Force, look, their bread and butter is defense. They're going to be able to slow down San Jose State no matter what they throw at them. But I do believe that this offense with San Jose State will score enough, and the defense may not have to worry about the Falcon offense too much. That's an offense that has to replace virtually every leader. Hazik Daniels, Brad Roberts, the 2 leading receivers on that team are all gone. Again, granted, they play more of a triple option style of team, but that is an Air Force team that I think has a lot of weaknesses offensively. I think the Spartan defense can exploit it if the pass rush can be at the level it was last season. I think San Jose State wins that game. But coming out of the bye week, I do not think you beat the Boise State Broncos. That is a loaded team this season. Talon Green, I think, is the best quarterback in the conference. You got one of, if not the best, 1-2 punch at running backs that the group of 5 has to offer, if not around the entire nation. Wide receiver room returns a ton. There are a lot of really good pieces on defense. I think this is the Broncos' year in the Mountain West Conference. That will be a loss for San Jose State. Then you got to go on the road and play New Mexico, and New Mexico did lose some pieces to the portal. Now, they did add some. I think it's a team that we could see take a step up this year in the Mountain West Conference. However, that is a team in New Mexico that is nowhere near the level still of the San Jose State Spartans. I do believe that will be a loss. A loss for New Mexico, which makes it a win for San Jose State. I also believe you're going to be beating Utah State. It's an Aggie team that beat you last year, but when you take a look at what is happening around that Utah State program, ever since that Mountain West title in 2021, they lost a lot entering 2022, and they lose even more entering 2023. Now, they do have some really good pieces, and I do believe if I am correct that quarterback ends up coming back. His name is escaping my mind right now, but for Utah State, I think they lost too much. I think it's going to be a really rough year for Blake Anderson's group, and San Jose State will take advantage, get the game at home. Utah State will be competitive, but the Spartan offense will be too much. They end up winning that game. On the road at Hawaii, just flat out, Hawaii's not a team that I like entering the Mountain West Conference. I didn't like them last year, and I kind of like them even less this season as well. And Siobhan Cordero, playing his former team, he'll be motivated. He'll put up some really big numbers. That'll be a win for San Jose State. So look at that. For the first time all season, you guys are above 500 entering into the game against Fresno State. Now, you do get a bye week before this game. Again, you play in week 0, so you get 2 bye weeks, and you get the game at home. Who knows? Again, Fresno State, much like Air Force, lost a ton offensively. Jake Hayner is gone. He got a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver, both leaving that program among many other players as well. But with San Jose State, or not San Jose State, that's the team we're covering, with Fresno State adding Mikey Keene, you still got a lot of really good players on offense, including some transfers coming in. I think Fresno State is just going to do a little bit too much in this game. And again, I think with all the Spartan defense loss, this might be a struggle against a Fresno State offense that has a lot figured out, if not everything, by this point. And I do believe this will be a loss for the San Jose State Spartans. However, I think this team is going to be very motivated the next week when you play the San Diego State Aztecs, a team that is known for their defense, lost 8 or 9 starters off of that defense last year. I still expect it to be one of the better ones in the Mountain West Conference. Will it be as good as last year? That remains to be seen. And the offense found a spark last year towards the end of the season. We'll see if that can get going. But I think San Jose State, Siobhan Cordero, makes too many plays and leads the Spartans to a win over the San Diego State Aztecs. And then you got the final game of the year on the road against UNLV. Now, do not count UNLV out this season. Yeah, they did lose some pieces, including Aiden Roberts, I believe is his name, out of the running back position. Aiden Robbins, I believe, is correct. And he was a dude, really good player. Other key pieces gone. But UNLV is a force to be reckoned with this year. And this could be the game right here that decides whether or not they go to a bowl game. But I think that Siobhan Cordero, this Spartan offense, will be too much for the UNLV defense to handle. So ultimately, I got the Spartans finishing at 7-5 with a really good record in conference play. Very well could be a team that, again, could emerge in the Mountain West Conference, and that we could even see with a record in conference like that playing in the Mountain West Championship game. But again, all that remains to be seen. Thank you guys so much for listening to my thoughts on the Spartans. Let me know yours in the comment section below. And as always, remember to play hard, to tailgate harder. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.